Behind home plate, we bringing it to them all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
That was a really long video.
I'll tell you what, we're still on? We're still doing the show?
Yeah, I guess
was that the show? Was that the episode?
You know, I chose an intro video, and it's not the one we normally.
Those buttons.
Well, no, it's a
classic button lover right there.
No, it's an older. We're trying a new software, and I didn't have the video we used normally ready, so I had an older video. I didn't realize that. I guess we used it as like our countdown while we were streaming to get everyone to log into Facebook and everything.
No, it's great. I was able to do all my show prep during the intro.
You know what was great about that? My favorite part about that intro is that it did not mute your mic. So all I heard is...
Oh, I realized that. And then I muted my mic because I heard in the background your kids and stuff in the background.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's when I muted my mic because, like, shoot, if you can hear me, then, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
If I can hear you, then you can hear me.
Lots of frantic typing, it sounded like, on your side.
Yeah. But that's my show notes. No, do you know what I just Googled?
What'd you Google?
I just watched Gunnar Henderson boot another ball.
Yeah.
A shortstop.
That's typical.
So what does one do when Gunnar Henderson boots a ball?
You check how many errors he had.
Well, close. I Googled Joey Ortiz.
Okay.
How is Joey Ortiz doing? Did we really blow? And he's
No.
No.
Next, you're going to start saying, well, yesterday, as the Orioles sucked, I looked up Connor Norby.
Well, you can't help but notice that he had 2 home runs in a day where we had 0 runs. He had 2 home runs, two-run homers, so 4 RBI in a game where we had 0 runs and 0 RBI. That we would have won with 2 home runs and 4 RBI. So
yeah,
that's how that's going.
That's the Oriole way now.
Yeah, we keep the bad players, trade the good players. And meanwhile, we got Kobe Mayo.
Would you, before you go any further, would you like to welcome everyone to Section 336?
Oh, yeah. I am the dealing steering host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh Soroka. Are we live? Is this recording now? I just thought that was this is a little pre-show talk.
Yes and yes. We are live. We are recording up on, I believe we should be on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the normal places. And hey, if you're there, you can go ahead and click right on over to this link I'm putting on now and go subscribe, review the show.
Absolutely.
Helps out a lot, especially as we make this push with the Orioles struggling and we got to get into the postseason. Make sure to write us a review, share with your friends about Section 336.
Yeah, all Orioles baseball talk. Hey, listen, Josh, let me ask you a non-baseball thing.
Yeah, let's talk football.
Oh, yeah, you want to just touch on football real quick?
No. Get to what you're talking about first. We'll talk about the...
You ever do this? I find myself...
we'll find a way to tow the Ravens in.
I am making, this year, professionally at work, I've made a commitment to do something.
Okay.
And that's when I come across something that I don't know or don't understand, I'm trying to ask more questions and not move on until I understand it.
Okay.
Because my first year at Mercer, I don't know anything, and I make no effort to know anything because no one cares, right? Like the committees, no one expects you to do anything on the committees. There's zero expectations of you. So I don't really pay attention to anything because I know I have no responsibility here as my first year. Then the second year happens, and things start to change a little bit. You get more responsibility, but at this point, I've been there for a year, so I probably should already know, the ropes. I should know what all these acronyms stand for. I should know things, but I don't ask because I don't want to look.
No, like you can't ask. It's too late for you to ask.
Yeah, and let's be honest, I don't care that much usually. I don't care that much.
Okay, what was the acronym that was bugging you that you finally had to ask?
No, here's my issue. There wasn't an acronym. I can't, Josh. This is a very fundamental question. I hope no Mercer's listening. We have so many programs, and I can't keep them all straight. And it was fine before, but now I'm like, I don't even know what meeting I'm supposed to go to. Because if this class intersects with this program or it doesn't, I'm not even sure anymore. And then now they started putting advisees with me. So I have to advise these people. And I can't even get the whole program's plan straight because there's so many different program plans. And I feel like we're way too far for me to ask. Excuse me, what is Holistic Child? What does that mean? What's that program? And so some of these programs, what does MAT stand for actually? So, yeah.
Is this MAT is math, right?
And that's a Master's of Art in Teaching.
All right.
But there's some people who are in that path who are not really getting their master's, just getting a teacher's licensure, because then there's certification and stuff. And I should have asked, but now I'm starting to. This is year 3, and I'm saying, screw it. I'm going to be here for a little while. So I'm going to start asking questions. I don't care if they're dumb. I'm going to start asking questions. And so I've started doing this.
All right.
And it's worked a little bit.
A little bit?
Well, I ran into an issue today because I've tried to take this into other parts of my life. Josh, you do your own taxes, right?
I do.
Okay. Yes. I met with an accountant today.
Okay.
For the first time. I've been doing TurboTax.
Yeah, that's what I always do is TurboTax.
Yeah, and I met with this accountant with like a mindset that I'm going to understand my taxes. And I lasted about 15 minutes. And then we're talking about like rental property taxes and depreciation value and using this formula to figure out the depreciation, but how that matters when you sell the house too. And Josh, I tried so hard and I couldn't do it. And I told the guy, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. And he showed me this huge book. And he says, this is just the updates for the tax code in 2024. And it was like this huge book. So I was like, okay, fine. I feel better. I'm not going to try anymore.
Well, that much you should know. You should know about how the tax code changes every year and everything.
Okay, but Josh, don't you feel like a fool doing your own taxes when the tax code changes all the time?
No, because the computer, every time I open up TurboTax, the first thing, why are we talking about taxes in October or September? But every time I open up TurboTax, it says there's a new update, and you hit update, and then it says,
okay, well,
hey, you now qualify with this.
Missed a big return I should have been getting the past 2 years.
What was that?
I don't know, Josh. It was the rental property depreciates every year. I'm supposed to take into account somehow the depreciation.
So TurboTax didn't
it didn't prompt me to put in.
You didn't know about this. Yeah, and you're right. I'm probably losing out on some money that way by some codes I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm really bad at keeping receipts. So if I had
especially yours with
if I had to hand in a box of receipts, instead what I do is in April I go to my bank accounts and I pull records and go through and highlight what I need to deal with.
Yeah, but I said I'm done. I'm not even trying anymore. I said, this guy's Andrew. I said, Andrew, you just take the wheel.
Andrew.
Okay. Yeah, Andrew, I'm done. You take it.
I just fired a accountant named Andrew.
Oh, really? This could be the same guy.
Yeah.
Did he have a beard? Did he sound kind of shifty?
I've never met him in person. Does he live in Virginia?
No, he lives right here in Macon, down the street.
All right, then we're good.
Okay, good.
I
really like this Andrew guy. We chatted for an hour meeting, just talking about taxes. And like for the first 25 minutes, I tried to understand it. And then I realized, Josh, there's some things where it's okay to not understand.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like sometimes football is taking a turn. If you watch football games, is my transition.
Yeah.
There's
the
like
kickoffs?
football shows. No, not the kickoffs.
Because I don't understand the kickoff.
But no one does. But the way people talk about football, they're trying to add like a lot more nerd language to it.
Yes.
To explain what's going on here. The curly wag, the jaggly 3, the jaggly 2. And I don't care.
It's weird because in NFL and these pre-shows, you're now getting a mix of like the jock talk.
Yes.
That like, you wouldn't understand if you don't play football. Plus you're getting the I know how to coach a team to win a Super Bowl mixture where they know the plays that should have been ran.
Yeah.
And then on that third side now, you're getting the analytic nerds banging in there. You
get the video up there. Then
run off. And the gambler. You got to get the gambler in there too.
Yeah, forget about the gambler. Yeah,
but the NFL makes so much money from the gambler right now. They need the gambler.
I know they need the gambler. Yeah, and I want all of you gamblers out there to ask yourself, how are they making so much money?
Right.
But Josh,
why do you think suddenly betting on sports is legal in every sport in the country.
Yeah.
And the biggest sponsor of each of those sports is one of the gambling sites.
Yep. But I got back into gambling a little bit. I've been sober for a while, but then I got an email from FanDuel.com saying if you don't log in, you'll lose any money in your account. And so I logged in, and there was $0 in my account. But then there was.
But you said, but I guess I should add some.
No, I didn't add some, but there was an option for play a free game for week 1. We're giving away $1 million.
That'll get me back in.
And I played that, and I got like 2,000th place or whatever. So I got $7, and so I'm back in with my $7.
Nice.
So I'm back into the gambling for a little bit, or just at least the FanDuel stuff, not the.
Yeah. I mean, did you want to talk about the Ravens at all?
Sure. Let's just touch on it real quick, and then we'll spend the rest of the time talking about Orioles.
And then we can talk about how I'm annoyed at my fantasy football already at week 1. That everyone on my team was overprojected.
See, that's bad drafting. I'm having a good week 1, thanks to my boy Cooper Kupp.
And mine's made worse by that I got to play dad in week 1.
That's a tough week 1. Though at least you're not like one of these people who have like 7 fantasy football teams, and so they're like, well, my 1 team is struggling, but my 3rd team is doing really well.
Yeah.
And my 5th team, if I drafted 10 teams, I'd probably get one of them pretty good too.
Right. I have 2 teams.
Okay.
And but I told you yesterday, what burned me is that I do a Survivor League every year.
Yeah.
And me and 45 other out of 100 people in my league all picked the Bengals.
You should have talked to me first. I would have never. We did. I'm in your Michael Mara thing, and I picked the Patriots to beat the Bengals in the Michael.
Oh, you're
Mara
in the
thing.
Michael Mara Picks League?
Yeah, I'm called Josh's brother.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
funny.
in the Survivor and the picks.
There's a Survivor League?
Yeah, there's not many people in there. There's like 15.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. Maybe I'll join it late.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have probably just directed 336 listeners over to that.
We should have, yeah.
We will next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
We can do them for the March Madness. I assume they do March Madness or something over there too.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, no. The Ravens. It was interesting. I don't know what your thoughts. Here's just a general overview of my thoughts with the Ravens, and then I'll get your take.
Okay.
I was thinking about this today. I have my 3rd kid, Flora.
Yeah.
And with your first kid, like with Silas, like you work hard to raise that kid right. We read all the parenting books, we fed him right. We did the classical music, whatever. We did all the stupid stuff, read them all the time, made sure everything was just by the book, perfect. And then by the time you get to Flora, you really don't care anymore. And then for the 3rd child. And so with Silas, like we celebrate every accomplishment and like it's awesome. And then Flora will walk up and like all of a sudden she's walking and we're like, okay, fine, Flora, you're walking. But with Silas, walking was a huge deal. Talking was a huge deal. When he didn't talk right away, we got the speech pathologist. With Flora, I have no idea if she's talking how she's supposed to or not. I really don't care. She'll talk eventually. I'm not worried about it. But when she does do something well, it's like, all right, good, Flora. I remember you exist. That's awesome. I'm sorry, I'm being too harsh here. People criticize when I talk about my kids. But that's kind of, Josh, how I feel. I feel like now the Orioles are my firstborn, right? The Orioles is who I put all my energy and love into. And I still love the Ravens, just like I still love Flora, the same. I love them both equally. Yes. However, my energy and love is focused right now on the oldest child, who I have been nurturing for years. And he's doing really well, so it's fun to watch him do really well. And I'm excited about him in his future. So that's where my energy is focused. And then I'm kind of on the side paying attention to Flora, and she's doing cool stuff, but I'm less concerned about her. And so when I watched the Ravens, I thought, oh, they're going to be a playoff contending team again. They played kind of toe-to-toe, pardon the pun, toe-to-toe up against the 2-time Super Bowl champions who looked really good. It was an entertaining game. The refs, I think, stink. They always stink, just like the umpires always stink in baseball. It was entertaining, and I enjoyed watching it. I wish you would have won, but I also left kind of feeling good about the Ravens and excited to watch the rest of the season.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way where, like what I said before, football season was sneaking up on me. Thursday night.
Your
Orioles
face
are
when
on.
they handed the ball off to Derrick Henry the first time. What? Derrick Henry?
No, I knew. I learned some stuff during fantasy football prep. But when Thursday night, the Orioles didn't play.
Right.
So no problem. Turn on the Ravens.
Yeah, easy.
But Sunday, I found myself more into the Oriole game than the rest of the NFL.
Oh. Not me.
Because you probably got sucked into the ADHD version of the red zone.
Yeah, I was watching some Red Zone. I mean, I watched the Orioles till 2-0, and then I had it on my phone, the Oriole game, while I watched the NFL on the TV, the Red Zone. And the Red Zone is wild because it's just nonstop chaos, I feel like, with the Red Zone. There's nonstop chaos. It's almost a little bit stressful for a guy who has a house full of kids. Like, I need something more relaxing. So I almost, and I turned back to the baseball game in the 9th inning. But baseball is much more relaxing than the chaotic Red Zone. I'll give you that. But then there are predictable takes. I knew, and I like Jason LaCanfora. I like him when he goes on the Tony Kornheiser show when he talks football, except when he talks about the Ravens.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Freaking predictable. So he went on there and just
he's a Harbaugh hater, right?
Yes. And Eric DaCosta hater. And he just kind of totally just smashed the Ravens for 5 minutes. And then Tony Kornheiser hopped on and said, I thought it was two good teams going at it. And Jason was like, there were two good teams.
No.
And then he went and bashed the Ravens for like 2 more minutes.
But that's what LaCanfora, his only thing is to bash them. He does the same with the Orioles.
I know. But if you talk about I feel like when he talks about other teams and other players, he's like somewhat logical. But then with the Orioles and Ravens, like something in his brain is like triggered, and he has to like get negative.
And I think he wants to market himself as a fan, but I don't think he's a fan. I think he's an out-of-state guy, got stationed here for work, got burned by previous ownership, and decided he hates these teams.
Yeah, like I don't think he's lying to us. Like I think that's how he really feels, but it's not logical. It's wild.
Right. I think it's kind of like the it's like it's the opposite of you and I, where you and I always kind of lean towards the positive of the Orioles.
Yeah.
He jumps to the negative.
Sure.
Like the sky is falling.
Yeah. Yeah. And with the NFL, it's worse. And I avoid the only thing I don't like about the NFL. I like the NFL. What I don't like is, with the one game a week, you get all these takes over and over and over again, just based off one game. Like, I don't even like, it annoys me when we make comments about the Orioles after one series. Like the announcers the other day were talking about how this is early September, how the offense was turning around. And I want to be like, yeah, because we had two series against the White Sox and the Rockies in Colorado. So, yeah, the offense will look better if we played in Colorado a bunch. But that's nothing to draw a conclusion about, kind of larger conclusions about the offense. You got to wait for it. And that's, I feel like it's so hard because you can't, because you have to fill up airtime. But the correct answer with the Ravens is let's see how this thing works out. Let's see how the offensive line works out. Let's see how Derrick Henry works out.
Like we had to start the season against the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
And we lost by an inch.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 inches, depending on how big that toe is.
Now, if our offense struggles against the Raiders and our offensive line looks bad, now we're having a different conversation. But
now I did text you during the game and said, "This is Lamar's becoming boring."
Because I don't understand that take at all.
Because it was typical Lamar game, where it was fail, fail, fail. All right, let me just run out of this.
Yeah.
Or here comes the play. It's like he only makes first downs on third downs. He's got to drag them all out.
Well, the boring part was, and this is kind of a la Joe Flacco, they mentioned the first half, his average yards per pass attempt was 1 yard.
Yeah, that's what I mean by boring.
And that's like the Joe Flacco
it's the short things.
Yeah, but
if you
I don't know how much of that is coaching, like game plan versus, Lamar's decision making. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when I play Madden, the latest Madden, I go deep.
You go deep?
Because we've got fast wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he doesn't do it. It works for me.
Yeah.
I just
and Isaiah likely can go up there and get him. Yeah.
And video game Lamar can throw that deep.
Yeah. Well, and
Flowers, I've been playing a little bit, and every time I send Flowers deep, he outruns everyone. Now, he's probably not as fast as that new Chiefs player.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Chiefs look good. Yeah. So no, it was. I mean, I like it. I like the fantasy football thing. Silas did not leave my laptop all Sunday afternoon.
Well, he likes watching the little points.
He was super into it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's enough football talk.
All right, let's get some Orioles talk.
All right. Are you concerned yet about the Orioles talk? Let's start right to the Jason Locafora style of the Orioles. After some games where their bats just went cold.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I said before, and I think this is still true, it's going to come down to that Yankee series in a couple of series from now. So no one, and I know we're in the midst of kind of an offensive struggle that's really hard.
Yes.
But I'll say this. No one's going to remember in October, how'd you play the first week of September? What was your offensive like the first week of September? Now, I feel like, and I don't know if this is true, we can look at this real quick maybe, that our offense has gotten worse every month of the season. It feels like we've gotten worse every single month of the season. And now we're kind of at a point. That combined with injuries. So our hitters, our best hitters, I should say, not really veteran hitters, our best hitters aren't hitting the ball well. And then besides maybe Cedric Mullins. And then combine that with injuries, and it leads to an offense that looks struggling. And so, yes, the offense not playing well does concern me, but I still hold out hope that we get into the playoffs and then we can make something happen. Like, I still think we have good offensive players. I don't think...
You think the air's got to cool down a little bit for our bats to come back?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think there's a lot of truth to this idea that, and comments like this have come out from the team and from Hyde, that they're pressing a little bit. I think there's probably a lot of truth, right? And
there's a lot of swing for the fence in this team.
Baseball, I feel like this is with probably all sports. When you try, the harder you try, the harder it becomes.
Yeah,
right?
It's like the guy that goes on the streak of not being able to hit any baskets. He's missing like 10 baskets. It's anything once you start pressing.
Yeah, and then you try even harder, and then you get more frustrated when you miss, which means you try harder. And if you just kind of chill, you would hit a lot better. And I think everyone, or most hitters on this team, need to just chill, relax. And so I'm still optimistic that baseball is a streaky sport, and maybe we're all streaking low now, but then when we hit October, we'll all be streaking high.
Right. You like to look at the Rangers and how they struggled the end of last season.
Yeah, I mentioned, I think I talked last episode about kind of struggling in July for them. I mean, all baseball teams go through periods of time when they're not hitting as well, and when they're hot, you just hope you kind of hit hot at the right time. I mean, there's other things that are really encouraging, right? Sir Anthony Dominguez has been, I think, a nice, like, we have a closer now, and he's not unstoppable, but no closer in baseball right now I feel like is unstoppable. But we have a pretty good closer. And I think our bullpen can work as long as we don't rely on them too much. And and we're still sitting, a half game out of first place. We're still in perfect. We're going to make the playoffs. It's just a matter if we're going to win the division or not. So,
and health.
And health. I hope we get, and we can maybe go through some of the guys who are injured as they're kind of starting to make their way back. And so I think that will be a boost. But yeah, I think right now we're just kind of in a wait and see mode until we get to that Yankee series. I think we'll win a couple, lose a couple, and I think we're going to go in the series with within a game or two of the Yankees, and we'll see how that series goes. And then if we lose that series, that's okay. We're going to go in as a wild card, and hopefully we can get enough out of our offense. And hopefully Corbin Burns is good, and we'll see. We'll go from there. But so I'm not like on cloud nine with this team, thinking we're World Series favorites. But I'm also thinking, let's get to the playoffs and see what happens. That's kind of where I'm at with this team.
Right.
How you feeling?
Same thing. Where I see the Orioles. When we're not striking out, I still see hard contact. I think of we had a home run stolen the other night. Was it a Santander hit, or I forget who hit the ball, but where it was going to be
Siri robbed it. Yes,
Siri robbed it, and that was like a 2 or 3 run home run that was going to tie the game.
Yeah,
that's
I like
a
that
big
because
moment.
that was the Henderson helmet tip, and then the Henderson helmet slam on the ground.
Yes,
combo.
yes.
Yeah, I like that one.
So I see moments where I'm like, it didn't go your way that day. And I see this team, we talk all the time about it being a long season. I see this team is young, so there's not much veteran presence. It's going to be really easy for the younger guys to kind of control that clubhouse and that locker room, which is going to lead to press. And what I hope this does is I hope this teaches the Orioles how to handle this so that when they get to the postseason, those young kids know how to get through this and can say, hey, we struggled in August, remember, and that led into September. Then we did this, and we got our heads back in this. Like, let's stop pressing. That hurt us, type thing. I hope they learn from this to be ready for the postseason.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at kind of overall big numbers here, it's almost amazing that the Orioles overall in baseball are 4th in OPS. They're still in home runs, only behind the Yankees by 3, so they're 2nd in home runs. If you look at something as basic as runs scored, they're 4th in all of baseball. Like, it's all the Diamondbacks, Yankees, Dodgers, Orioles, and Phillies. So we're up there with the best offensive teams in baseball still, right? Even despite all these struggles.
Right.
We're still near the top, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yep.
Though if you do look at the last, I don't know, like let's do it, last 15 days, then all of a sudden OPS we're ranked 21st in baseball. So we legitimately have been struggling lately.
Right. And then, but it's also, we've been struggling, but who won the AL Player of the Week this week? Gunnar Henderson, even through the struggles.
He's had a really good week
because he was going through a slump. This Adley slump is extremely long. It's like half a season long. So that's more worrisome. But again, it's a mental game. We know he's got the talent. It's mental.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been, I mean, over the last 30 days, he's batting 179, has 1 home run, 1 double, 2 extra base hits in the past month. That's wild.
Right. And he's in the lineup almost every day. I mean, well, they're giving McCann a bunch of time as well, but he's in there.
Yeah, if you go to...
And they did not drop him down in the lineup, which I think if I was Hyde, I would have done. I haven't seen today. Yesterday was still batting at the top.
He's batting 5th today, I think.
Okay. I would have bumped him a little further, but I guess it's a big deal just to move Adley out of that slot. So I'm proud of Hyde to do that.
Yeah. If you look at I always do Orioles news. And if you look at Orioles news, it has articles like Adley Rutschman, Orioles searching for answers to catchers' continued struggles. The next headline from Sports Illustrated, slumping superstar has been quietly killing the Orioles, about Adley Rutschman. The Baltimore Banner, this is all today. Adley Rutschman badly wants to get back to his best for the Orioles. Yesterday from Fansided, Orioles fans are begging Brandon Hyde to do something about Adley. So yeah, a lot of the articles focus on Adley. And then most recently, Hyde shakes up, and this is why I knew, Hyde shakes up Orioles lineup. Mullins batting 2nd, Rutschman 5th.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. And that is the story because it's been the longest, and Rutschman has not had this big stretch. Like we saw Holiday suck when he first came up. We saw Gunnar go through a big stretch in June of last year where he just couldn't hit the ball. We haven't seen that yet with Adley. And I think it's the new girlfriend.
Oh, you're doing your girlfriend?
I don't know if she's new or not, but I noticed he had a girlfriend in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And then I noticed I was playing on TikTok, and he's now making TikTok videos with his girlfriend, like trying Chick-fil-A and stuff and rating food.
Gotcha.
So right now, I'm going to go out there and say, based on those two knowledges, which basically just says he has a girlfriend, I am blaming his struggles on the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she's Canadian, so she's probably helping the Blue Jays.
Maybe insider source there.
Yeah.
I mean, because Adley always came across to me from the moment he was he was drafted as kind of the lowest floor, like high ceiling, but like high floor. I'm sorry, not lowest floor, highest floor. Like he's just so consistent that even like a down Adley is a good Adley because he just has such a consistent swing and attitude and all that. Like he almost like appeared as a veteran from the moment he stepped on the field. And then there was the not getting, not losing a series streak, and it just so it's really this is the first time Adley has faced a 6 inning slump, like you said, and I hope he can kind of get out of it. And though I don't think people are making pronouncements and Matt Wieters, and which brings up a whole other discussion if Matt Wieters was a success or failure with the Orioles, but I mean let's just chill out on that. It's been a tough half of season. This isn't his career.
People look at Matt Wieters as a failure.
Yeah. I think a lot of people look at him.
Yeah, I guess he was set up as Mauer with power, Jesus in cleats.
Yeah.
You have no option but to fail.
And he's not a Hall of Famer. He was a good catcher for a while.
Right.
And I think the hype train was similar for Adley, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of the guy that marked the turnaround in this franchise, right? It felt like when he was caught up, took off the catcher's mask, looked around, this was a change in the guard. This was the new Orioles. This was, to quote Mike Elias, liftoff kind of. And so, yeah, I think there's that comes with a lot of expectations that he's great all the time. And he hasn't been great lately.
Right. Now, he did make an outstanding defensive play in the game tonight.
I missed
catching a ball or getting a ball thrown in that went wide foul, scooping it, and then diving at the player, diving for home, and got him out. A Matt Wieters-esque play.
Nice.
So, do you feel better about the pitching staff after a week?
Oh, and by the way, I just Googled it before we get to the pitching staff. I was just curious how he stacks up in kind of F-WAR compared to some of his peers. And he's at the top with
Okay.
Yeah, so he's still regarded as one of the best catchers in all of baseball, even with that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
So even a down year for Adley overall is still a good year.
All right,
this is for his career though. Shoot, we just need to. Okay, I need to do some more work on this.
Yeah. You got to go on the last 6 months or whatever.
Yeah. Well, let's take the whole season at least for Adley. But no, you mentioned the pitching staff. Listen, Cade Povich struggled a little bit today.
But isn't this expecting a lot out of him to fill in?
Cade Povich is, to quote, what was it, Dennis Green, I think, for the Cardinals, they are who we thought they were. Like, he is who I thought he was. Like, this is the definition of a fourth or fifth starter, kind of rookie making his start up from AAA. You're going to have really good starts and really bad starts.
Right.
So and he had a great start last time out, and now he's struggled a little bit. And this is who he is. And I'm okay with Cade Povich. I don't expect anything else from him. Corbin Burns, so giving up just 2 runs in 6 innings or 5 2/3, whatever it was. I think it was 6 innings. That was encouraging. He still isn't. He doesn't look dominant like he did at the beginning of the season, I feel like. So that concerns me. They showed a graphic about how his strikeout rate has gone down every year of his career, and this is the lowest strikeout rate he's ever had in his career. That's concerning. He's not swinging, not getting people to miss. So I'm a little concerned about Corbin Burns. And I feel good about Zach Eflin. I want Grayson Rodriguez. Seems to be on the mend. I want him back here.
Yeah, they said he was throwing. Yeah. I don't know if he was on a mound yet, and he will need a rehab start.
Yep. And so, I feel good about Dean Kramer. He seems to pitch better down the stretch always. So I feel good about him.
Yeah, and he had a no-hitter for a while there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. It says Orioles, Grayson Rodriguez could face hitters this week. So that's
perfect.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect timing.
And you said the closer you're fine with. Like, teams are going to blow saves.
Yeah, I'm good with Sir Anthony Dominguez. Out of all our bullpen guys,
yes,
And my expectations this year have been, and I think we were spoiled obviously last year. And so, we had to adjust our expectations, and we did accordingly. I think Birdland, if they're anything like me, like my expectations are kind of at the floor now. So anyone who can kind of get a save sometimes and not just blow it every single time,
Right.
I'm kind of good with, based on what we saw with Kimbrel. So
but
I like Sir Anthony Dominguez as our closer.
Yeah, but then at the same time, you want that offense to come alive because we might need all 8 runs tonight.
Yeah, I know. That's the other thing.
Like we talked pre-All-Star break, we talked about this team and how what we loved about this team is they were never out of it. You always felt like they could come back.
Yeah, that Orioles magic. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe in Orioles magic right now.
Yeah. So, but what also is encouraging, I mean, Jacob Webb, is he back yet? He's gonna come back any day now. And then Danny Coulomb has started pitching, I think, in the minors too.
Yeah.
So their return is imminent.
Yep. So that's all good news.
Yep. And we mentioned Grace Rodriguez about to throw the line batter. So there's three, I think, pitchers that could improve.
Right. So that's 3 pitchers that'll help.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go on the other side. Since we're talking injury updates, we got Kerstead doing his rehab now at Aberdeen.
Yeah, that's excellent news because, I mean, that could have stretched out to the end of the season, those bizarre concussion injuries. And given his history, every injury is bizarre, I guess. But that's really encouraging that Heston Kjerstad is back at Aberdeen, which I think, right? You do a few games at Aberdeen, maybe a couple of games at Bowie or Norfolk, and then back to Baltimore, right? Like, how long do you have to go on this rehab stint before we can get you back in Baltimore?
I don't think it's long at all.
Yeah.
When's let's see. The Orioles are in Boston, and then they go to Detroit. They might have you just wait until they come back home next week. But also, at the same time, the offense is dead up here. So you could bring them up pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, I guess part of it will depend how he performs, certainly in his rehab.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like, man, this team could use that left-handed power bat off the bench. So hopefully sooner rather than later. And to me, I mean, again, circle the series. When do we play the Yankees? And so I want him back before that Yankee series.
Yeah. And now
so you mentioned we play at the Tigers and then we come back home. So I look at coming back home to San Francisco and the Tigers, like let Kjerstad come back like the 20th or whatever, that Tigers series right before the Yankee series. So he has 3 games and then we play the Yankees in that crucial 3-game series. That's kind of where I'm at with it. And then let's see, who else is injured? Ryan Mountcastle. Yep.
And did you see Hyde's update today? Very discouraging.
Yeah.
He had the sprained left wrist, hasn't played since August 22nd. Hyde said, I don't know. I want to say it's optimistic, but I'm not really sure. I think he's going to come back by the end of the regular season. I just don't know when.
Yeah, there's no timeline.
I don't know. I want to say it's optimistic.
Yeah.
I don't like any of that.
A couple of days ago on the broadcast, they were talking about how he's hitting off the tee like it was a good thing. And I'm thinking, you can't even hit off a
moving ball.
Yeah, you got to hit off a tee. Like that sounds like you are a whiles away from being ready to actually hit in a baseball game.
Yeah, it sounds like not letting your wrist tighten up, but you can't handle. Yeah,
and that's a double whammy, Josh, because he is a really good hitter, especially against left-handed pitching. He provides that right-handed power.
Yep.
And
a great defender.
And defensively, O'Hearn is not as good as Ryan Mountcastle.
Right.
That's just the reality of it is. So your team, and it messes with, Hyde hates it because it messes with his platoon splits where he's got that perfect platoon split there with O'Hearn and Mountcastle. Now this throws everything off. Too many lefties in the lineup. So yeah, this one hurts. And I don't know how optimistic I am that he comes back for the Yankee series or the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's that Yankees series would be great. Actually, when do we have one more trip to Toronto, or are we done in Toronto?
I think we're done in Toronto.
All right, so then, yeah, you're right. It's so close to the end of the season. Boston, Detroit, San Francisco, Detroit, then Yankees, Minnesota. So it would be great to have him for that Yankee series. Even better to have him before that so we can get warmed back up and everything. So, but as long as we have him at the end of the season, have him in the playoffs hitting again. All this is, you don't want him back if he's not hitting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for a team that's struggling offensively, one of our best offensive players is out and there's no timetable for return. Yeah, that's annoying. All right. So that's him. Who else do we have? Who else is it? You get lost in all the injuries.
Let's see. Who else? Well, I should pull up the Orioles IL.
Well, the two other guys, Jordan Westberg.
Oh yeah, Westberg, who we desperately need because we don't until tonight. We didn't like playing Kobe Mayo, and Mayo's not doing anything anyway. So Westberg is the guy you want.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean Mayo, Josh. Just real quick on Mayo, since you brought it up, when he was called back up after the Ramon Arias injury, I came on here. I think you agree with me. A little bit weird because a little bit surprising because he struggled when he was up here. He was down not very long, and then we called him back up based on injury, where it seems like Michael Elias has been really pounding the development, and it seems like it would be hard for Mayo to really kind of make any changes based off of being in AAA for such a short amount of time after he was struggled with the majors. So I was surprised he was caught up so fast. And then I was like, well, that's weird. And then he just hasn't played. Played very little. Manager had said he's going to pick his spots, so he has picked his spots. He's played very little. Maybe because he's not very good right now in the majors, or maybe because they're trying to manipulate his service to keep him eligible for Rookie of the Year. But the guy I'm watching play baseball, whose name is Kobe Mayo, doesn't look like a Rookie of the Year candidate to me.
No.
But maybe it's just my eyes.
Nope. And Anthony Santander just got number 40 of the year.
Oh wow, that's a big deal.
Doesn't
so
help.
What it's 4-2, and so now it's what 4-3.
Yeah. 8-3. I can see you got the score somewhere up there.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really matter. It'd be nice if some men were on base, like bases loaded.
I'm gonna go. Wonder what happened there.
So, all right. So then Jordan Westberg. He is fielding
fractured hand or something.
Right. He was fielding grounders in Boston. I saw that.
Yeah.
So that means he's close, right?
Yeah. So he had the right hand fracture, and there was noted there was nothing on his right hand anymore. He's fielding without anything on his hand. So that's encouraging.
Does he need a rehab start?
I think he's been out for a while. I think he does. But I think it could be just like a little series.
I think the way the Orioles are playing lately, I'd be fine with rehab and with the Orioles.
Yeah, I would be okay with that too. But yeah, I guess we'll see about that.
And then who's the last guy on our countdown?
Ramon Arias.
Oh, okay. Forgot about him. He was he was playing extremely well when he got hurt. So you would hope if he can come back the way he was before, it was very helpful.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, certainly, nothing against Nick Matan or Matten or whatever his name is. I'm sorry. No disrespect.
There's 3 guys on here that are going to go away when Mountcastle, Urias, and Westberg come back and we have our infield back.
Yeah.
Ramirez, Soto, and and the other guy you said, Matan.
Yeah, Matan.
No reason for any of you guys to be on here.
Yeah. And they said Ramon Arias is walking around, made the ankle thing, rolled his ankle.
Yep.
And, he's walking around, the reporter said, with no limp or anything. Again, there's no clear timeline. I don't know if he hasn't been gone very long, so I don't know if he needs to do rehab. But I would imagine he could be back very shortly.
Yeah, I would think so too. I would think if it's an ankle thing, hopefully he's still been able to do some type of workout. or I guess he hasn't done baseball activities, but at least work out.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can, avoid a rehab and just work out at Boston.
Yeah.
Start and get back here next week.
Yeah. And then I don't know if did we ever put a button on Jorge Mateo? Maybe
He's
we
done.
did last week.
He's
done. He's done for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he's done. Batista's not going to make it. Those guys are closed out for next year.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because we've spoken so many times about how Mateo's the guy you want in that postseason roster just for his speed. So I wish you could just, wrap up that arm or something so he can still run for us.
Yeah, he had it was a little bit weird to me. I don't know anything about injuries, but he had UCL surgery, which I felt like is like
Tommy John.
Yeah, but I felt like he broke his arm on that diving play. I was surprised that led to that.
Right, the video. Well, and
I thought it'd be
say, it's not broken,
broken leg, or broken something.
Didn't they even have him in the lineup the next day at first, and then have to change it?
I don't know. I remember watching it. I remember where I was watching that injury. I was in a hotel room bar.
But no, that's unfortunate because
nasty.
I wanted him in the postseason, but again, he'll be back next season, and that's a lot of things to be hopeful for next season as we try to win our second in a row.
Yeah, here's another July, August return date. As half our roster will come back in July and August, it sounds like next year.
Yep.
So who needs a trade deadline?
Yeah. So I guess we're at the same place. We're just fast forward into the Yankee series to really get excited again.
I hope we can stay within a game of the Yankees till we get to that series.
Yep.
And then hope things roll our way and then take our chance in the playoffs. Listen, Yankees have had trouble. Yankees have had closures, blow saves. Yankees are not a perfect team.
No, and that's the thing. As much as we
I know
complain,
we're still focused on the Orioles, but
we're still basically tied with the Yankees back and forth.
Yeah.
With all the same struggles.
Yeah. And I don't know the specific situation for the Yankees, but at least we're going to get a boost with all these guys getting injured coming back. And I hope that does. I hope it's not one of these things where, Westbrook comes back and hopefully Mountcastle comes back and Kerstedt comes back and Arias comes back and there's really nothing. But I would imagine it has to be a boost, and not only because they're coming back, but who they're replacing. And Rivera hasn't been bad, but you're just limited if you're high on what you can do with this lineup with these guys. And so it has to be a boost to get these guys. And again, I don't care. I don't care that much if we struggle offensively in September, in the early September. Let me get my guys back by the end of September, and let me have my baseball team that we had to start the year with, at least offensively. I know we're not getting the rotation we started the year with, but let me get my offensive lineup we had at the beginning of the year, and let me take my chances in October. I think it's going to be fun.
I'm right there with you.
All right, good. And if it doesn't work out, well, Lamar Jackson, do something exciting for us.
I hope he can be fun, because even when we win the World Series, we're going to need football after that.
It's true. That's done in November.
So, Matt, I have my very first Little League game on Saturday this coming week, and my last 3 practices have been rained out. It has rained every day here in North Florida. So I'm a little nervous. I don't even have my pitchers selected yet.
Oh, my.
So today it was rained out. I think I'm going to have to do a little D-bats, rent some cages, get my kids over there, at least to figure out who can pitch the ball.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I got it while we were doing the podcast just like 10 minutes ago. I got a phone call from an unknown number in Macon. I just, we signed up for fall ball. I'm not coaching this year, Josh. I don't know if I told you that. I'm not coaching fall ball. I just can't do it because I teach Tuesday night. I teach Wednesday night.
All right, so it's a scheduling issue.
It's a scheduling issue. And we play games on Tuesday and Thursday. So I'd miss all the Tuesday games. And then Thursday, I feel bad for my wife being out of the house Thursday coaching. So I just said I'm going to take the fall off.
Okay.
And I just got a call today.
They don't have enough coaches?
And I knew this call was coming. I just reading the transcription says North Macon Ballpark. I'm like, oh crap. But it's the coach of whoever Silas was picked by. So
he got drafted.
Yeah.
All right, good.
So
good.
I feel good about that. I skipped the evaluations this year. I didn't go.
All right. So the way ours works is if your kid does not go to the evaluations, they get put randomly on a team at the end.
Yeah, that's what we did. We put him in a hat and we just plucked him out of a hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but it's weird because everyone knows Silas.
And that's the annoying part. And that's why I didn't get him. And that's the annoying part. And that's why my favorite kid, I did not get back this year because he did not show up to evaluations.
Oh, so you couldn't draft him.
So I couldn't draft him. He got assigned to another team, and then the guy wouldn't trade for him. I had 2 of my players not show up. I had to make some trades afterwards to get him. And this guy would not trade back my best player from last year.
Yeah. No, that's dumb. Yeah,
because I think he had him the year before. I think I stole him from him.
Yeah. This is your best player?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But I got a good... My team this year...
This is the Santander fan, right?
Yeah. But my team this year, I'll tell you, it's as a whole... Now, before the season starts, I will tell you, this is the best team I've ever coached.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see how it goes when we actually have to play the games.
All right.
But as far as coaching kids, it's the best. It's both talent and like practices are going the smoothest they've ever gone and all that.
All right.
So
that's cool. Yeah, and I told you, like, Silas is officially on the travel ball team. I paid my money. I paid the $500 stupid dollars. He's on the team.
No, but I like that because that means he might play weekend games and I can come see him.
Yeah, he should. That's how they do tournaments on the weekends. So, because goodness knows, Little League now anymore can't play on the weekends. Goodness no. I couldn't coach if they would just play games on Saturday, like a normal growing up how you play baseball.
Yep. Last season we had no weekend games. This season I have a bunch of Saturday games, and of course it's a couple where I have plans and stuff. So we'll sort it out.
So silly. All right, but yeah, that's good. I'm pumped. I'm sorry, you mentioned when does the season start for you? When's the
Saturday?
First game? Saturday's the first game.
Saturday is the first game.
Okay. Nice. Do you know who you're playing? Do you have any information on your opponent?
I don't.
No insider information? Is it one of your rivals? One of your hated? Like at this point, you know all the coaches, right?
Yeah, my biggest rival coach did not come back this year.
Okay.
So he moved to another league.
Too. Like the thought, like I'm a little bit sad about not coaching football. And one of the reasons I'm sad is I have animosity. I don't know how this happens, but like I don't like some of the other Little League coaches. Like I have really strong feelings, not about the players. I'm all about encouraging all the players, but some of the coaches I really have a dislike for. And I don't know really where that comes from, or I was not expecting to have a dislike for other coaches. But you do. You have your rivals. You have things you don't like that other coaches do that rub you the wrong way.
Yeah, I'll tell you. This rival coach was fun going
like
up against
Toronto Blue Jays
years.
Coach. Oh, I hate that Toronto Blue Jays coach. It's like
this
coach
was
before Little League.
This was the coach of the Braves.
Okay, I don't like the Braves.
And we had big games against each other, and it was always competitive. And he was one of the type of coaches that is like making his kids run laps when we beat them.
This is the anti-fun against your
anti-fun.
Yeah,
the anti-fun. And I was coming up as all fun.
Yeah.
And we were able to play well against them.
The balls with beach balls.
And here's the other. And then he had his like college age daughter as his assistant coach, and she was like more intense than him.
Oh man.
So it just
it's like dad and
so it was just like
yeah.
That was the team you wanted to beat all season.
Yeah.
Because they were super competitive.
Yeah, and they're probably good too.
Right, but we beat them a few times, and that was fun. Yeah. And it made me respect that guy and like going up against him. It's my rival, but that's because it's the funnest game of the year.
Yeah, don't you like Josh? And I was debating whether putting Silas in a different sport for the fall, just because I don't want to overkill baseball. But I like fall ball a lot. It feels I like the weather better. It feels more chill. Like the parents, the coach, everyone feels more chill in my experience. I don't know if you agree with this in the fall as opposed to the spring. There's less teams, less players. Everyone's kind of chill. It's like the off-season practice.
Yep.
There's no pressure to have a lot of practices. Where the spring, it feels much more. This is coaching. Everyone was much more serious and into it in the spring.
Yep. No, that's definitely how it goes.
Yeah. So I like the fall ball. Like if I could choose one, I would probably just stick with fall ball and skip the spring. And have to play something else in the spring.
As we get out of here,
I
just got an email that 13 of my T-shirts now have been approved by the MLB Players Association as official approved shirts. So they will be going up on Breaking T, I assume, later this week. I'll find out tomorrow.
So do you still have a website, Birdland Sports, or no? Does it all go
I do. It's all going to redirect to Breaking T very soon.
Okay. But that's cool, Josh, that you're able to do those. Are these the same designs, or these are whole new designs?
These are designs that everyone has seen before. No, they are designs people have seen before that I've tweaked a little bit and updated. And then there is one brand new design that I've not posted it online. The only people that have seen it is Breaking T.
All right, cool.
So that one I'm really excited about. I think that one's really cool.
Okay. Do they accept everything you send over there, or do they say we want this one but not this one?
They give green lights, yellow lights, red lights.
Okay.
Green light means we like this one, and they might put some notes like, hey, adjust the colors, or can you do this? Yellow is like, we don't know about this one, try again. Red is no, throw that design away.
Okay.
I submitted, and I did not get any, I got a few red lights, but it was more of, this isn't going to pass the Players Association.
Gotcha.
Is what those red lights were.
Maybe that was the John Angelo's clown shirt. Was
No. I only spent, I told you I've got 13 approved. I only sent like 15.
Okay.
And what they were, the two that got rejected were Raven themed shirts.
Okay.
Because the NFLPA has weird requirements working with the NFL.
Okay.
Like you can't use the NFL logos, obviously, but you also can't use like all three colors of a team. You can only use the two, and then you can't use both primary colors.
Oh, that's
so
weird.
You can use like purple and white, but you can't use purple, white, and black.
Oh, interesting.
And it's weird. It's weird color scheme, things like that. So I got some stuff kind of just knocked out because of that.
Yeah.
But all my Orioles shirts that I submitted got approved. I just had to make a few tweaks to a couple of them.
Nice. Look forward to seeing those. That's cool.
I'm excited. It's really cool to get my picture. Like they sent me pictures of all my shirts with the little MLB PA approved logo on it, which is really. Oh, and you know what? I said that there was one shirt no one has seen before. I forgot there's two, because I have not shared my hat trick one either. So what I'm going to do here, what I can do, since we're using this new website.
Yeah. Do you and your close family members get free shirts still, or no?
I haven't figured. I don't remember what my discount is for that.
You should get a good discount for your own shirt, right?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, let me figure out how I can share a photo, and I can show you.
Have you gotten into the business of designing shirts for Michael Mara yet? Has he asked you to design shirts yet? I'm sure he knows you.
Oh yeah, no, I've made some Michael Mara shirts.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah. All right, Matt, can you see this?
Oh yeah.
This
that's cool. Yeah.
Patrick Perez.
Yes,
catching this ball in the bullpen.
Yep, his bullpen hat catching.
And you can see
that's a cool
right there
shirt.
below the Perez, you can see the little MLB Players Association logo.
No, that's a cool shirt.
So that's one that has not been released yet.
Yeah, I like that.
And then here is the second one that has not been released yet, but will be this week. Win It for Birdland. And it's got Santander and Gunnar Henderson doing little high fives.
Yeah.
Approved by the MLB Players Association, which I'm really excited for.
A little post-win high five action. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So those are two that you'll be seeing up, but you'll see the whole Birdland Sports collection at Breaking T very soon.
All right. Well, when that happens, share it with us, and we'll look forward to checking that out.
I hope very soon, because there's only a month left of baseball season.
Yeah. What will happen first? Ryan Mackhouse returns to the DL, or Josh gets his T-shirts?
No, I think these are going to be up this week.
All right, that'd be cool. All right, cool. We'll tell you about that here, and I'm sure Josh will also tell you about on all his social media platforms and Section 336 social media platforms. And while you're over on the internet, go ahead and rate and review the show. Helps other people hear the show. And this is, boys and girls, we're about to get, I know it's been a long baseball season. but we're almost there. We're almost into what we've all been waiting for, playoff baseball. And that's where I'm at. I'm waiting for playoff baseball. And I'm going to start. I've stopped listening to Orioles podcasts, to be honest. I don't listen to The Verge anymore. I stopped listening to it. But come October, I'm back in on the podcast.
Our podcast is a little different as far as Orioles podcasts go.
I know, but even whatever it is, Bird's Eye View, On the Verge.
I think we're different than all of those.
Give that man a contract.
None of those podcasts that you listed have talked about their little league.
Podcast. Jimmy's podcast.
Speaking of podcasts, you surprised me last week by telling me that you listen all the time to the Mike O'Mara show.
I didn't say all the time. I pick my spots.
Okay. So I would just say if you have now started listening to Mike O'Mara show and you were a 336er and now you listen to that because of me, let me know. It helps if I know.
Okay. I'm one of them. I'm one of them, Josh. Though there are times when I stop listening. So like when you have a guest on, I was listening to the guest talk about her new book just like last week. And whenever Mike O'Mara introduces you by saying you don't pronounce your consonants or something, that's when I turn that shit off. Like he can't get over it. He can't get past it.
No,
all right, you don't say your G's. Let it go, Mike. Let it go.
I did tell him this week, hey, I've been with you 5 months. If I could learn how to do it, I would change it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I don't think he's bothered by it, but he doesn't need to mention it every time he introduces you.
But you know why? Because the listeners do the same thing.
Oh, do they?
The listeners there's comments on the forum and Facebooks and all the time about whenever they see the G like an apostrophe, like IN apostrophe, they take a picture and post it on there. I sent an email out.
They're feeding it to Mike, and he just can't get enough of it.
I sent an email out to Mike listeners earlier today, and I got an email back.
I hope you don't include any G's in your emails.
The email heading is, "We'd be nothing without you." You know what I get back in my email? No, nothing. I get a response from someone, and it says, "You mean nothing?" with the G missing, question mark, and that's it. Yeah. That's it. He didn't say anything else. Yeah. I don't even know if he read the email. You should
write your emails and just do the apostrophe after the N without the G.
Yeah, I'm just going to start doing that. Type into this crowd without G's.
Yeah.
So
maybe you can change the English language, Josh.
Check out the Mike O'Mara show. Just let me know so I know you're a special 336er.
Yeah, we like the crossover. And check out the Journal of Adolescent Literacy podcast. That's less of a crossover.
It's all right. I hope that we have something new to direct them to this offseason.
Yeah.
That we're both proud of.
Yeah. I hope so too. We're always thinking.
Hey, how big was? I know we've been trying to close this for 10 minutes.
I know. I'll close this.
How surprised were you that the Zany one still listens?
I was very surprised.
Me too. I was like,
anyone.
Now I will send an invite to invite him back to the show.
Yeah.
See if he wants to hop on some.
Yeah. We're taking shots at him. I mean, we weren't really taking shots at him. We were sympathizing with him. And he caught us out on Twitter. So yeah. If you want to call us out on Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me on X. At Section 336. And you can follow Josh on X
at Josh Soroka, and the show goes live every week at Section 336 Show.
Nice. Not 336. That's mine.
Right. Yeah. We should have thought about that at the beginning.
Yeah.
12 years ago.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's and go Ravens.
Thank you for listening to the Section 336 podcast. Please go to iTunes and Facebook for all complaints or the occasional compliment. If I were you, I would not take any baseball advice from these guys. Josh and Matt were raised by an Orioles-obsessed father.